So I just wanted to share my recent FlameTree experience. So I sought out FlameTree for support with some physical symptoms that I was having, like debilitating migraines, neck pain, body aches, those sorts of things. And what I found was that my symptoms resolved by 80% just after the first session, but it was these side benefits that came along that I hadn't been seeking that have been most unique and most powerful to me. And I found that fears and insecurities just didn't penetrate me as much. So I would see my external trigger and it just would pass me by. I could observe it. Or a practice that I'd sort of been trying to integrate and master for many years. I felt like I dropped 50 kilos of shame and self-judgment and guilt, just like that. It just dissolved. And so again, I'd have these physical external triggers and they just didn't revoke a response. It was a neutrality in how I saw them and experienced them. I'd sort of been chasing various practices, modalities, healing arts for probably around 8 years. And from that, I had formed some really strict patterns in my life, which I can now see were just ways that I was using to control. So really strict meditation patterns. I had to meditate for a certain amount of time. And if I didn't, I would get really anxious. If I missed it that day, making sure I had really strict eating patterns, all these sorts of things that were absolutely beneficial and helpful, but at the same time were creating this just really tightly wound bubble of perfection. And then if I couldn't do them, it would go into a rabbit hole of that shame, guilt, and self-judgment. And so to suddenly not have those is profound. And it's only in the absence of those can I realize that what it actually was and how restrictive that felt. So now that I don't feel that way, I suddenly have this huge swamp of joy return. And it's okay to enjoy certain foods. It's okay to, watch a movie instead of meditating to gain joy. Like I don't have to have such I don't have to try and conform myself into this perfect non-human version of myself that doesn't exist, but also wasn't experiencing life fully in joy. All of this came instantaneously, like within the 24-hour period. And something that I had noticed with FlameTree, separate to other energy modalities I had come across, was I had no resistance leading up to it, and I had no energetic hangover following it. So sometimes when I'd had other healing work done, I felt a scattering or a disease for a few days before I sort of come back into myself and can function again. I felt quite out of body at times. I didn't feel like that at all with FlameTree. In fact, I felt like I'd had 3 coffees and I was ready to take on life. Kind of had to calm myself down a little bit actually. So that has been my experience, and absolutely profound and very grateful to be able to have this level of inner serenity and inner peace, even if my external looks exactly the same before. How I navigate through my internal is completely different.